Following widespread layoffs, tech professionals reevaluate their future. A position at a major Silicon Valley corporation used to be one of the more lucrative opportunities available to Americans. The alluring combination of high pay, plenty of perks, flexible management, and collegiate San Francisco Bay Area campuses made for a lifestyle that lured many early career self-starters, even after all the rhetoric from the early 2010s about making the world a better place started to ring hollow, in the wake of scandals at Facebook, Uber, and other companies. That idea appeared to be supported by the pandemic. Software companies saw their stock prices soar as everyone's life abruptly moved online, and tech workers began to relish the pleasure of working from a living room couch. Numerous people have been put on the chopping block since January 1st at Google, Microsoft, Salesforce, and Amazon, among others. These reductions followed earlier excisions at Twitter, Meta, and Snap. Many computer workers have had to reconsider their careers because of the industry slump, since they are no longer enjoying the ardent attention of a sector that is keen to attract the finest and brightest personnel. Where they go from here could change the industry for many years. One person's loss is another person's gain, according to Managing Director and Tech Analyst Dan Ives of Wedbush Securities. According to Ives, highly qualified software engineers and developers won't be unemployed for very long, and the businesses who hire them will likely be ones at the vanguard of innovative new industries like artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, cloud storage, and cybersecurity. Ives said the hiring over the previous 5 years had increased at an unsustainable rate, which led to the cuts. Now that hypergrowth has reached its end, you can see tech CEOs ripping off the Band-Aid. It's a time that bears striking resemblances to the bursting of the dot-com bubble in the early 2000s, when a nascent internet economy vanished before investors' eyes amid the demise of exuberant Web 1.0 enterprises like Pets.com. However, Ives claimed that by re-entering the market a large number of bright software engineers, that fallen empire provided the raw materials for the subsequent 20 years of technology. He claimed that the most recent layoffs might have the same outcome. The expert stated, "I perceive it more as a redistribution and a change in the pecking order, rather than a sign of worse times." The trend of tech workers becoming disenchanted with many of Silicon Valley's largest employers, many of which have at this point accrued reputational blemishes if not outright scandals, is part and parcel with the shift away from the so-called FAANG companies, Facebook, now Meta, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Some employees might now take the opportunity to locate jobs more in line with their principles after being laid off and having their golden handcuffs severed. According to John Chatfield, a secretary with the United Tech and Allied Professionals Union in Britain, since COVID, really, what I've witnessed is tech workers of all stripes, but particularly those with expertise, no longer want to work for the Facebooks, the Googles, and the Microsofts. It's just no longer an aspiration. According to Chatfield, some software engineers will increasingly favor working for smaller businesses that can provide them with remote work flexibility, 4-day workweeks, and a higher quality of life. Others will seek out extremely flexible freelancing. However, future changes might go beyond only personnel switching from large IT firms to nimbler, smaller ones. Given how pervasive technology is in every sector of the economy and how many non-tech companies still have excellent reasons to hire the workers that conventional tech corporations recently lay off, it's commonly claimed that every company is now a software company. Chatfield claimed to have recently observed tech professionals assuming positions at governmental and non-governmental organizations. He said of tech workers, "They're not running for cover, a lot of them don't need to absorb whatever comes their way. They are being selective in their travels and filling well-open market gaps." Recently, the insurance company Allstate hinted at plans to bolster its technological prowess by hiring tech workers who had been laid off. Likewise, the Department of Veterans Affairs has reached out. One engineering manager, Jace, who was fired from a San Francisco software company in December, claimed that the current unrest at conventional, large-scale tech companies isn't typical of all tech careers, which now span a variety of industries like banking and healthcare. Every company has a website, an app, and a service, according to Jace, who concealed his last name since he is looking for work right now. You might observe a broadening of what working in technology and engineering means. He made reference to the infamously summer camp-like atmosphere that many Silicon Valley companies developed before to the pandemic, saying that a career in tech is not necessary at a place with a slide and a ball pit. Despite the increased lack of job stability available, some college graduates are still tempted to the computer giants. Allison, a college senior in the Bay Area majoring in computer science, claimed that she chose an offer from a FAANG company over 2 positions in the defense sector in Pennsylvania and Idaho. Better to apply for a job that pays $250,000 and get fired in 6 months, she argued, than to go to Idaho and receive $100,000. I'll take a lot more danger for a lot more money. According to her, some of her acquaintances who previously completed tech internships at businesses outside the conventional IT environment are still vying for full-time positions at bigger corporations. Again, money is the motivation. But not everyone has been as fortunate in finding a job before graduation. According to her, several of her colleagues have submitted dozens of resumes and even settled for internships without receiving a response. The personnel cutback has notably impacted non-technical tech workers, or those who don't write code or have other engineering abilities, according to Natalia Nedvedskaya, a doctorate candidate at UC Berkeley who specializes in tech employee activism. Nedvedskaya stated that the majority of these layoffs are affecting personnel working in recruiting or customer support at these organizations. Additionally, a lot of computer companies use temporary or contract employees, who, even during economic booms, have much less solid job arrangements than their full-time counterparts. Google employs more than 50% of contractors, and if they aren't rehired or have their contracts terminated before the end date, it doesn't count as a layoff, according to Nedvedskaya.